The following program is sponsored by LBO Academy.
This is the Lifestyle Business Owner Show, where we talk about the street smarts of small business. Your hosts are Aaron and Mayumi Muller, owners of 8 companies that run without them, and founders of the LBO Academy. It's your turn to discover how you can own a business that runs without you. Now, here's Aaron and Mayumi.
Hey everyone, this is Aaron Muller with the Lifestyle Business Owner Show, where we talk about the street smarts of small business. So if you guys are not able to listen to our entire show today, I'm going to strongly recommend you guys go to lboradio.com. That's lboradio.com. And the reason why is I just feel like this subject for business owners is extremely important, and it's going to help you out in running your business and grow your business. We have an expert today in search engine optimization. We're talking about like getting yourself ranked high on Google, Bing. Also, he's a social media guru. We're talking like this is the cheapest form of marketing from my experience that you can do for your business. And our guest today, his name's Woody Hertzog, and he's the president of WormWood SEO. He's been performing search engine optimization since 1999 to Yahoo and Alta Vista. Dude, this guy is old, man. Before Google was even operating. He founded WormWood SEO in 2008 and currently operates in 5 metro markets. Also today, we got my co-host, Mayumi Muller. She's not only my business partner, but my partner in life. She's an amazing woman, a true hustler, and if I didn't have her by my side right now, I'd never have the success I do today.
That is right. That is right. You know, behind every strong man is a strong woman. And I am so excited. Woody, thank you so much for being on our show this morning. SEO. I am excited to hear about how you guys can rank #1 on Google and Bing. So let me just get into this. Woody, thank you for being here this morning.
Yeah, thanks, Woody.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So, you know what? Some of the audience might not know what does SEO mean? Search engine optimization? What does that mean?
Really, it's optimizing your website to show up on the major search engines, such as Google, Bing, and Yahoo. So the search engines would like to rank the most important sites in a specific search term, and so you want to make sure your site is indexed in a way that comes up on the top.
So, okay, so what's important about showing up on the top of search engines? I mean, like, why do you want to show up on the top?
Well, when you show up on the top of the search engines, that's where a lot of the people will be looking first after they do a search. In fact, Google has released some heat maps showing where people click the most in a typical search results page, and it's no surprise. At the very top is where the hottest colors are, the reds and the oranges and the yellows. So you want to be at the top. There still is a decent amount of click traffic as you go down that first page, but it really drops off by about 90% by the time you get to page 2.
Yeah, and before I became a pseudo expert in SEO and I was just your regular Googler, I'd always click the first one, and it was a pay-per-click. And Aaron's like, don't push that one. I'm like, well, it's the first one. It's like my eye goes to, it's yellow. It's got like nice colors. So what's the difference between pay-per-click advertising and SEO?
Well, they're both part of the search results, and they both are powered by what I would call an algorithm. So the top 2 or 3 results are pay-per-click, and then there are some results that can be on the side or at the bottom of the page, and those are all paid clicks. And then what's called the organic results, like what naturally appears in the search results, appears on page 1 between those top 2 results and the bottom of the page. So Google charges a per-click fee every time someone clicks on it, but it's not about just who bids the highest amount. It's about how relevant your website is to the search term, because Google, at the end of the day, wants to have the best results possible on the search engine.
Right.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really complicated, really. I mean, and I know that there's tons of salespeople out there telling everybody that they're a search engine expert. You get a lot of emails as a business owner from companies claiming that you don't have good SEO and all sorts of things like that. So how do you decipher who's a good SEO company versus just somebody trying to sell you a bill of goods and maybe something out of the country getting an email to you? Do you hire these companies out of the country? I mean, are they better at it? Or, I mean, why are you guys good at it? Why should we not hire those other guys?
Yeah, it's really important to ask tough questions when you meet with your search engine, with someone you may want to hire, a company. And those are the questions. You just hit on a couple of very important ones. Do all of the people or your employees that do work, are they located here? That's very, very important. You also want to ask about, how do you measure my success? What am I going to look at on a regular basis, and how often am I going to talk to you? How fast are you on responding to emails? You know, for a company like us, we're considered one of the best in Seattle. We respond to emails within about 10 minutes. So that's what it takes to deliver good customer service. But you have to ask those questions as a small business owner. How fast are you going to answer my emails?
Yeah, and I say that with a lot of companies.
You do.
I mean, it's just the customer service is so essential for everything, because not everything goes perfect in any campaign that you ever do. But why are you saying you don't want to hire somebody out of the country to do SEO?
Well, a lot of the times what happens is the companies that outsource a lot of the work, the heavy lifting, which is actually what I refer to as off-page SEO, where you're getting other websites to vouch for you for a particular keyword. They will go set up your profile talking about your business on websites that may not be favored by Google. There are sites that are easily manipulated. In fact, that whole area is called Black Hat SEO. White Hat SEO is setting up a good SEO program and following the guidelines that Google sets forth for the industry. So a lot of the times, these outsourced companies will just simply set it up on websites that actually hurt your ranking and don't help it.
Oh
Yeah, see, so there, so Google does manage what needs to appear on the SEO and for what companies, correct? Yeah, so they're kind of managing
how fair
it.
is that? I mean, like, do you think that Google has a fair system about doing it, or is it like a cat and mouse game almost with Google, like trying to figure out, like, from what I understand, you have to like change maybe ways you're doing it one month from the next because they're changing the algorithms that Google uses to do rankings. Is that true?
It is true. They do have an algorithm. They change it. They do major changes to that algorithm maybe once a year. They'll assign a name to it, Panda or Penguin.
Okay.
And it's usually to address a problem in the search results. For example, if you're looking up a local Seattle plumber and you type in Seattle plumbing contractors, and then these other types of sites that you could use to look up plumbers start showing up, like Yelp and the online Yellow pages and so forth. Well, I'm looking up a Seattle plumber. I don't want to find another way to look up a Seattle plumber. So that was, just to give you an example, a major release that Google used to fix. And they released a major update, and they were trying to identify who's really a local plumber and not just another online
directory.
Yeah, directory.
So they actually fixed that? Because I've been seeing that, and it drives me nuts. But
I would say they didn't fix it very well.
Yeah, it's still work in process. So work in progress. So so let's say I'm a small business owner and I have a limited marketing budget. Should I spend it on SEO, social media, pay-per-click advertising? Like, how can you tell our listeners how to prioritize when you have limited funds?
Well, on limited funds, you want to pick one thing to condense all of that smaller budget on, because if you try to water it down between pay-per-click and SEO and social media, it's going to weaken all three so much that it's not going to be effective. So it's better to pick just one of those three. And if you're a brand new business, I would probably start getting the ball moving forward and getting SEO going. Usually within a couple of weeks, we can get some wins on some what I call long tail keywords that convert very well and start making your phone ring.
So long tail keywords are basically like a longer phrase that shows up as a ranking on your business, right? So give us just one example of a long tail keyword versus like I always have called them like money keywords, right? Like, so if it was investments, that might be, if you wanted to rank, you're an investment company and you wanted to rank for investments, that would be extremely difficult, right? If you were just to key in that. But if you were to key in a long tail keyword off of investments, what would be an example?
Well, one that comes to mind is in that plumbing category. If I could switch categories.
Sure. Yeah.
Seattle plumbing. That's going to take us a couple months to get you showing up there. That takes a lot of work. But for a new business owner, we want to get results coming in right away. So a long tail keyword example there is, we might ask the business owner, what do you literally make the most money on? and we might hear we're really doing well with those hybrid hot water heaters. They kind of have that heat pump attached to it,
Okay.
energy efficient. So the long tail keyword example, so the crown jewel keyword, if we could call that, is Seattle plumbing contractors, but the long tail keyword would be Seattle hybrid hot water heaters. So more of and it'll convert better because then it'll show up on the search engine results so that you're an expert in that.
That's cool.
Okay. And so going back to kind of like what has changed in SEO, because again, we want to make sure that our listeners are making the right decisions and they're going with a company that is really up with the times, because things do change. So what has changed through the years?
I think Google is getting better at determining who's following the rules. And, really SEO can be simplified, believe it or not, because at the end of the day, Google's looking for two things. They're looking that you're relevant for the search term that people are searching for. So you want to mention it on your website. And the other thing is that you have unique content and not copied content. So unique content and deep content throughout the site is really what they're looking forward for. And as time has gone on, that's really been their shift.
Oh, yeah. No, that's great. That's awesome. So I'm going to talk about my favorite things right now. Alexa, Siri, Google Home. Let's say I own an Italian restaurant. When someone says, Alexa, what's a good Italian restaurant near me? What do how do you get into that Alexa?
That's a great question. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's really several layers on Google's search platform. You've got the desktop results, we'll call them. Then you've got mobile results that specifically show up on mobile phones. Then you have the new, more interactive search results.
Well, you know what, Woody? Isn't this exciting? I'm going to have to stop you here because we have to close out this little segment here. Today we're talking to Woody Hertzog, president of WormWood SEO. He's an expert in search engine optimization, that's SEO, and social media marketing. This is where he helps business rank high on the first page of Google and Bing. Follow the Lifestyle Business Owner on Facebook and IG, and you can listen to the Lifestyle Business Owner Show anytime, anywhere on lboradio.com. That's lboradio.com.
Time for a quick break, but we'll have more of the Lifestyle Business Owner Show right after this, here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL. It pays to listen. Now, back to Aaron and Mayumi Muller on the Lifestyle Business Owner Show.
Welcome back to the Lifestyle Business Owner Show, where we talk about the street smarts of small business. Today, we're talking with Woody Hertzog, president of Woodworm SEO. He is an expert in search engine optimization and social media marketing. This is where he helps businesses rank high on the first page of Google and Bing. We left off at my favorite area. I do like Alexa, not gonna lie, but I wonder sometimes how does that information get into her? Like, I can, ask for an Italian restaurant, or I can have her put something on my list. I can see, how far, is a restaurant from my house. How do they get that in there?
Well, first off, I just got to say, I call him Alex, so I didn't know it was Alexa. I didn't know it was a female.
Well, that's why she don't respond to you.
Go ahead, Woody.
Yeah, so before the break, I was starting to say, there's really different layers on Google's search platform. You've got the base, we'll call it the base, which is your desktop search results. It was about 1.5 years ago where mobile search results, where just users were searching for local businesses, crossed over the 50% mark for the first time. So that's basically more than 50% of the searches for a Seattle plumbing contractor were being done on smartphones.
Yep.
So as we've moved into now, fourth quarter of 2017, now that's pushing into the 70% range. On top of that, we have now Alexis and Google Home, a whole bunch of different interactive sort of the voice search helpers, if you call them that. So there's two different layers on there. There's the mobile results and there's the desktop results. And we really have to do a separate, different type of SEO to help boost you in the mobile search results. For right now, and Google also knows that it makes a big change. It develops a whole new way to search, and they know that all of the thousands of small business owners out there are not configuring their website to show up perfectly on Alexis, which causes a problem for Google in that they can't go optimize on something that they need the small business owners to go start engaging themselves in their marketing. So what they're doing is just pulling the top 10 out of desktop and mobile. So if you've got a good SEO company helping you, you're in the top 10 or top 15 here on Google, desktop, and on mobile, you're going to be just fine on Alexis.
Yeah, and I just read something that like millennials 75% of their searches are actually voice searches. Like they're getting on and actually
and
not
on
even
their
typing. They're not even
Google
typing
or
up.
their Siri or what have you.
So it's definitely a changing market. So let's talk
That's
about.
interesting.
Yeah, I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're definitely in an industry that it's not like you're an attorney, but you have to really be in tune with a lot of changing
everything.
things going on constantly, which is really great that you do that. As far as like costs go, I know that it goes across the board. Let's just talk about a local search. Somebody could quote you $1,000 a month, or maybe $2,000 a month, or $300 a month. What's the cost? I mean, it's just so hard to determine, am I getting ripped off over here, or is this guy way too cheap that there's no way he can really do quality SEO?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. There's different ways SEO companies charge, and I kind of personally believe you kind of pay for what you get.
Most things.
Yeah.
Most things, yes, and so it really applies in the SEO world. To have the best engineers, the best SEO employees, you need to pay them a good wage. So that will translate into the fees that you're charged. For those that maybe they don't know what they're doing, they don't understand it, they're going to get paid less than someone that really knows knows what they're doing. Okay, so the way we do it, which I think is very fair, is we look at the type of business that you have and your search terms that you want to rank for, because basically all we need to do as a SEO company is we just need time, and that's what we're charging for. So, for example, if you're a dentist up in Bellingham and you hire us, we're going to say, we're only going to need about 4 hours a month to rank you for Bellingham dentist. It's easier to rank in that area because there's just less dentists up there. It's a smaller market. It's going to be fairly easy for us to get on page 1 with about 4 hours. Now, and then we have our hourly rate of $165 an hour. Now, if you suddenly approach me and say, hey, I'm a brand new Seattle plumber and I want to rank in Bellevue. By the way, we've got trucks in Tacoma and Everett. It's going to take us longer than 4 hours a month to get you ranked for Seattle plumbing contractors. It's probably going to take 20 hours a month, to be honest with you. So we just charge what time we need. We've had some business owners approach us and say, we're just thrilled. Our phone is ringing a lot, and right now you have us at 8 hours. I'd like to bump that up to 10. And at that time we say, well, we can't do that because we asked you to give us 8 hours a month because that's the time we need to be successful.
Okay.
We can't do anything more with that 2 hours. We appreciate that, but and that's about trust and ethics of a company too. So if you push too hard on Google, you can start going backwards on the results.
I've heard that, and so I don't want to get too technical on this, but what are some things that, like, I know like a national campaign is much more difficult than like a local campaign, right? And like I said, it might just be more time or what, but I've heard of link building and things like that. Do you do that sort of thing, or is that outdated SEO, or is it just blogging? I mean, what are you doing for these hours? And you don't have to get real technical on this.
Sure. Let's take our Seattle plumbing contractor example.
You sure like that guy, don't you?
Yeah.
He must be a big client of yours.
Man.
Yes. So we'll say that we're trying to target those hybrid hot water heaters. And so there's two parts to Google that we need to excel at. And the first one is relevancy. Do we literally say Seattle, hybrid, and then water heaters on a page about that, about hybrid hot water heaters? So that's what you want to do, is you want to be relevant for the search terms you want to rank for. At that time, you might find that Google says, yeah, you're relevant. You might be on page 1 or page 10, page 6. So then the other 50% of SEO kicks in, and that is what's called off-page SEO. What Google is then looking for is other businesses vouching for you that you are indeed a Seattle hot water, Seattle
like
hybrid hot water heater.
Kind of like a popularity contest almost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Google has sort of their list of sites that they respect, and there's a lot of sites that are easily manipulated out there. Those are kind of the sites that are called the bad neighborhoods. If you show up on those, your ranking can go backwards. But if you show up on the sites that they respect, that helps vouch for your keywords, and you go up in the ranking.
So interesting.
I know.
There's so much intricacy
There's a lot to
everything,
know,
right?
lot to know for sure. And if you guys are missing anything, go to lblradio.com to get the entire show.
Okay, so I have a question. So as a business owner, do I need to do paid ads to rank well organically? You talked about that earlier about, there's a couple ways in being organic.
Yeah,
Google likes to make sure.
So if you're paying Google for those paid ads, are they going to give you more favorable listings on the organic portion? And organic's where you show up
like
basically
naturally.
Non-paid. Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and we get asked that a lot. And so the answer is no. You don't have to do pay-per-click. There's to rank well organically. There's no connection at all. Google's motto is "Don't be evil." I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's their kind of their culture.
I haven't.
So they don't want to have this, pay a little here, we'll kind of hook you up over here. Yeah. So that's not the way they work, but there's no connection between the two.
Okay.
I recommend, once you get established in SEO, that you do pay-per-click, because what happens is suddenly you've got 2 spots on the page. The user pulls up the search results, sees that you are on 2 spots, and what they think is, wow, this must be the company to call. They're showing up everywhere.
That's what I do.
That's true. I mean,
yeah.
So what about like social media? Does that give an impact to where you rank? Like if you have a lot of likes on Facebook, does that help your rankings on Google? Or how much does social media play a part in ranking?
Yeah, it does. It's starting to play more of a part as we go forward. At the end of the day, I don't know exactly what the algorithm is. We have some good ideas of what they're looking at. But just to share, before I answer that question specific, there's about 200 different signals that go into determining if you should be ranked on page 1, number 1.
Okay.
Some of those signals are stronger than other signals. So the title tag is one of the strongest signals, and that's just basically what sits on the top of your web page with the keywords in it. This is what we do. So that's a strong signal. Then there's a lot of weaker ones that go into determining placement. But the social media signals are still fairly weak as far as where, if you're going to rank high, low. There's a lot of experimentation done. We do some in-house ourselves on some websites, not our customers' websites. Some internal
That's a good
websites.
idea. That's great. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be bad. But so that we can understand, what signals are really strong out there. And so that's really important to be doing R&D as you perform this. But, the likes, we're pretty certain do not matter. You could have, 38 likes or 3,800 likes, and that's not going to matter. But what does matter is the engagement on your Facebook wall. Google, we're not sure how they do it. We feel strongly that they have a way of seeing.
Interesting.
Okay, so this person shared something on their own personal wall about a plumbing contractor that's selling this brand new hybrid hot water heater.
Oh, yeah.
And then they take it and share it to another friend. Now, that right there really is noticed by Google, and that can have a big effect on search results. So it's not just how many likes you have.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say that I paid an SEO company like yourself $1,000 a month for 6 months, right? And they promised to get me at the top 3 for Google search, right? But it didn't happen, and I ended up paying them $6,000. What should I do? Should I continue, or I know
this stuff happens.
Yeah.
Right? People are promised stuff. So what's your experience?
Yeah.
With it? And how much should we take that in? And we have just a little bit of time, so just go ahead.
Yeah. As this industry has matured, a lot of our inbound new clients, this is what we hear, these types of stories. And really what you should know is any SEO company that promises it makes a promise is a company you should not hire because they don't know the algorithm.
Thank you so much, Woody, for that. You know what? If it's too good to be true, it is. Thank you, Woody, for being on our show this morning. You can learn more about getting your business to rank higher on Google and Bing by calling Woody at 425-369-7565. That's 425-369-7565. Or you can find him on the web at wormwoodseo.com. That's wormwoodseo.com. Here at the Lifestyle Business Owner Academy, we're not rendering financial or legal advice. We're not telling you what you should or shouldn't do with your money or your business. We're just simply telling you what we do on a personal basis. When we come back, we're going to start our LBO segment. This is where you'll get an opportunity to know a little bit more about us, and we'll discuss how to buy a business, grow its profits, and make it run without you. Make sure you follow us on the Lifestyle Business Owner on Facebook and Instagram, and you can listen to us anytime, anywhere on lboradio.com. That's lboradio.com.
We'll be right back with more of the Lifestyle Business Owner Show after this brief break here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL. It pays to listen. Now back to Aaron and Mayumi Muller on the Lifestyle Business Owner Show.
Hello, this is Aaron Muller. When it comes to success in life and business, it matters who you take advice from. And that's why I want you to know about my extraordinary wife and co-host, Mayumi Muller. Mayumi is the quintessential cosmopolitan success story. Born in Japan and raised in the United States, Mayumi's Japanese and African American heritage has helped her learn how to connect with people from highly diverse cultures and backgrounds. Following her coursework at the University of Washington, Mayumi pursued a career in modeling, working professionally in major metropolitan areas throughout the United States and Europe. During this time, Mayumi cultivated an elegance, charm, and winning attitude that crowned her Mrs. Washington State in 1995 and landed her less than 5 places away from achieving Mrs. America. Since that time, Mayumi has raised 5 amazing children while attaining to the highest levels of success in every field she's entered. A President's Award-winning real estate agent for John L. Scott for 10 years, the top sales rep of a Fortune 500 company, owner of 8 multi-million-dollar businesses, and the world's #1 trainer in self-running business ownership. Learn the secrets to success in life and business from this amazing woman at the Lifestyle Business Owner Academy website, lboacademy.com. That's lboacademy.com. Why build a business when you can build a lifestyle?
Ooh. Now, my husband knows that I am words of affirmation, and I am affirmed by you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's get on with our LBO segment, which stands for Lifestyle Business Owner. So this is where we talk about how to buy a business, grow your profits, and make it run without you.
So Mayumi, let's talk about building a great team in this segment, all right? And first, let's talk about the first component, which is having the right mindset.
That's right. Mindset is key, right, to building a great team. So, let me talk about the McDonald's mindset. Their concept is that, anyone can do the job and employees are like a cog in a wheel, right? They're just disposable, replaceable. Basically, they're a replaceable part of a machine, and they're not treating their employees like human beings.
Exactly. And we believe that for you to be happy in the long run, you need to take, you need to take a look at yourself, and you want to make sure that you're a kind person, and when you're building your business, and that you're becoming a good person and not getting jaded towards people, right?
Right. I agree.
So if you treat your people like humans versus machines, you'll have more potential in getting human ingenuity and creativity out of them, because they're going to feel the warm and fuzzies that you actually care about them.
Exactly. And it's important because we're not machines, right? So in order to attract good employees, which is what you'd like to do for your business, you have to show your people that you really care. And that's really important, because caring is good, right? Machines don't care,
No.
People care. And then see your business as a living organism, right? With live organisms versus a machine that have employees that are just a part of the process, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So basically employees are, they're like an organism, right?
Yeah.
So here's a few attributes of a successful lifestyle business owner when it comes to employees. For example, the owner cares deeply about the well-being of each employee, but is not held hostage by any key employee.
And because
you don't want that, right? I mean, so you want to treat people good, but you also need to understand that they cannot dictate how you run your business in the long run, because you'll fail if you start letting all of your employees just tell you what you have to do.
Right. And again, I love that phrase, because you don't want to be held hostage by your employees, which is why you will make it a wonderful place for them to work and be, so that they don't put you in that predicament.
Exactly.
So instead of using like a military style leadership, which a lot of big companies do, they give orders and demand this, and they really don't give a crap about their employees. Why don't you foster an environment where people enjoy coming to work, right? What a concept. You're at work 8-10 hours a day. Create an environment for them where they enjoy being there for that 8 to 10 hours, and they're not wanting to leave from the moment they walk in the door.
Yeah, because you're going to ultimately get a massive amount more out of them and creativity out of them if they're jazzed to be there.
Absolutely.
So you want to make sure you're an owner that understands that it's not what you say necessarily, but what your actions are that cause your employees to react and do well in the business, because they understand that maybe your actions are showing that you shouldn't be a certain way in your company.
Well, there is an old saying that actions speak louder than words, right? And it truly does, So if you're telling them one thing and your actions are showing another, it's going to create a message to them that's inconsistent. So do as you say as you do, and show it. So
like a good example is having a mission statement,
right.
And then that owner doesn't really live by that mission statement. It's just some blank words that they're talking about with no meaning really.
Exactly. So let's go into the second component, and that's hiring well, right? You got to hire well in order to have good employees and have a great team. Finding good employees is easy, right? If you create, again, an awesome environment for them to work in.
Exactly. And believe it or not, the best talents are not cheap. Your goal is to attract the best talent without paying too much, not attracting mediocre talent because you want to save money.
Right.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah. And, we talked about on our last segment with Woody that, he pays great money because he's got a great team. And if you find top talent and you're hesitant to offer to pay on the high side, then one other option that we do for our businesses and for our employees is we set up an incentive pay program or system, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so that way, they're getting incentivized for selling, growing, customer service, whatever, the growing of your company, they're going to be incentivized by that. But you as a business owner will be incentivized because you're going to be creating more business to your...
Yeah, because they're going to be motivated and producing more.
Exactly.
For you. But did you guys know that research shows that the interview is only 15% accurate in predicting job performance?
Wow, yeah.
There's, and there's a handful of reasons behind this.
Yeah, and so one of the reasons, is, it's hard to predict job performance when you're in an interview, right? So one thing to look out for is, hey, your judgment is definitely affected by the order of the interviews, right? So say you have 2 interviews, you have 1, 2 or 3, right? And you have already the second one interviews with you, and you're like, oh, I like that person. Mm-hmm. And then you've kind of already set your mind to that second person. So the poor third person, doesn't even stand a chance because you're not even listening, because all you're thinking about is that second person.
I'm guilty of that before.
We're all guilty of that. So make sure you have an open mind. Do a ritual where maybe you have to leave the room before the next interview comes in,
and take a
to
deep
decompress.
Breath too.
Yeah.
Don't go into it saying I'm not making a decision right now.
Right.
The other thing is your judgment tends to get affected by impression management. Some candidates are better than others at controlling the impression people have of them. So if this person really wants the job and they have all kinds of, personality traits that probably wouldn't get them the job, they're gonna repress that during the interview. So sometimes you're going to make a bad decision because you're just basing it off this interview for 30 minutes to an hour.
Absolutely. The third thing is your judgment tends to be affected by people who share common things with you. And Lord knows I'm guilty of that, because if that they see that I'm an animal lover, I love dogs, or I have a family, and they keen in on that, I'm all over that, man. I'm like, okay, I like her because she has a Shih Tzu, and that's what we have, right? So don't get disillusioned by the things that you have or you share in common with the person you're interviewing.
Exactly.
Separate it.
And then the sad truth is that people tend to hire physically attractive people over unattractive ones, even though it has nothing to do with the job description. And I got to say, I'm totally guilty of this because I did hire my wife.
Oh, yeah. I did look good that day. You know what? Yes, it's unfortunate, but you know what? Everyone can dress for success.
That's true.
So make sure that if you know, some things that you're pulling it all together and you are at 110% for that interview, right? And that's what we want to let people know.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of ways of looking good.
Yeah. So, and then lastly, some candidates will exaggerate and lie during their interview. I know you guys of business owners have seen that, and it makes them sound like they're the most amazing candidate on the planet. And you know what? You got to weed through the BS, right? You got to know that probably 50% of what they're saying is true. And then now you've got to kind of dig and ask questions. Ask questions so that you can really get some good answers, because once they start lying, they'll start lying a lot more. So you want to make sure you ask good questions.
And not everybody has a good BS meter. So you have to just ask a lot of questions. So there's a few steps that you should take before even scheduling the interview. Basically, review your applications, the cover letter that comes with it, the resume. Make sure that they're even qualified for the job in the first place.
Yeah, you don't want to be looking at their resume as the first time they're sitting in front of you. And the second thing is, you know what? Most business owners call references after, right? Call before so that you're not wasting your time. Call their references before.
Another great tool that we use in our company is we actually like to administer tests that simulate the tasks that they're going to have in the job to allow us to see how that candidate is actually going to perform those job duties.
Right.
This is really a great tool to use and can eliminate a lot of people really fast.
Oh, it's key, because Aaron and I paid to become certified in Myers-Briggs, which is a personality profile assessment. It identifies the person's personality type, how they communicate. And we put every one of our employees through the Myers-Briggs, and that way we can communicate effectively with them. We know what's going to trigger them to listen, and then we know how to effectively listen to them when they're communicating with us.
Exactly.
Great tool.
Yeah, and so it's also important to be, very proactive and efficient as possible during the hiring process. If you spot somebody that's good and, you wait 2 weeks, you're going to end up losing the whole opportunity to hire them.
That's right. And so, you know what? We are going to separate this into 2 segments. And so what we're going to do today is, and next week, we're going to talk about the rest of the hints that we're going to give you to hire a great team, because it's really important. So we'll go over that next week, because I don't want to, rush through everything.
No, we got to make sure we get everything in there.
Yeah, so stay tuned next for our Ask Aaron segment. Business people across the country write into us and ask myself and Aaron questions about the street smarts of small business. Make sure you follow us on The Lifestyle Business Owner on Facebook and Instagram, and you can always listen to us on lboradio.com. That's lboradio.com.
The Lifestyle Business Owner Show continues after this, here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL. Log on to lboradio.com while you listen to the Lifestyle Business Owner Show. Now back to Aaron and Mayumi Muller.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Mayumi. And if you want to achieve your goals in life and business, right? Why not learn from someone who was born to be an entrepreneur, someone with the uncommon business sense, the tenacity, and the track record of success to prove it? My husband and co-host, Aaron Muller. As a child, Aaron developed an interest in small business ownership from his family's marina on San Juan Island. From the start, Aaron was driven to seek a business opportunity and attain entrepreneurial success. His very first business venture was catching and selling shrimp at the docks when he was only 10 years old. While his peers were preparing to enter 7th grade, Aaron opened a bumper rental company catering to the San Juan's ample tourist traffic. Aaron's first real job came in high school, but by the time he graduated, he had earned enough to purchase half of the company. Over the past 30 years, Aaron has gone on to start and buy over 20 companies in the Pacific Northwest and now owns 8 multi-million-dollar businesses. Aaron is the world's premier trainer in self-running business ownership and the author of the Lifestyle Business Owner book, which lays out the principles for making a six-figure income by working as little as 5 hours a week. Learn how to achieve your goals from this phenomenal business mind at the Lifestyle Business Owner Academy website, where you can learn all kinds of amazing business knowledge. Visit lboacademy.com and take your life in an extraordinary new direction. That's lboacademy.com. Why build a business when you can build a lifestyle?
All right. Well, thank you, Mayumi. That was nice. What do you say we get into some of the questions from our listeners?
Oh, I love getting questions, and thank you so much for sending in your questions. Keep sending them in, you guys, all the time. Okay, so the first question is from Troy, and he's from Chicago, Illinois. His favorite way to follow us is Instagram. Thank you, Troy. His question is, how do you get people to notice your clothing brand on social media and generate consistent clients?
Okay, well, you got to be consistent on social media. It's all about consistency. Depending on the social media channel that you're using, Twitter is something that you might want to post multiple times a day, like maybe 5, 6, 7 times a day. Instagram, you maybe don't need to do it quite so often, maybe like 1 time a day, and then make sure you do your story and make sure you're tagging, things. You're doing hashtags, and those hashtags will kind of bring to light other areas that people search, and they'll start discovering your product. But having good content on all your social media is so important to even get any exposure on it, because people aren't going to look at your stuff if it's just, you're trying to advertise a product every single time. So make sure you're giving them something that they might be interested in. So if you have a really cool brand product, then show it on different models, different sceneries, like make it so it's interesting to look at. And then when it comes to like Facebook, it's hard to get out to a lot of people unless you pay for the advertising. So you can either set up a group, and that's kind of like the new way of doing it economically, is setting up a clothing group, like new fashion and things like that, and then inviting people to the group. And so they're going to see your stuff all the time, and you can build that page faster that way. Or the other option is to do paid advertising on Facebook, and there's some advanced ways of doing it that you really can get a lot of bang for your buck, but it is a lot more money than maybe some of the other free processes of doing it.
Yeah, and the 2 things that stick out to me that you said, Aaron, and we do this with our businesses, is to create good content and consistency. Just like you want to generate consistent clients, you need to be on a consistent basis by showing them what you have available, and it's going to interest them,
and
right?
It's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
It's definitely difficult, but it's a commitment that you have to make if you want to get your brand known.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for your question, Troy. The next question is from Eva. She's from Bangkok, Thailand.
Sweet.
Love it there.
Thailand.
I love Thailand too.
That's where we had our honeymoon.
We did. It was fun. Let's go back again. Okay. Right. So sorry, Eva. Okay. So her favorite way to follow us is Instagram. And her question to us is, how is owning a business that runs without you different from owning rental properties? Which one is better?
That's a great question. And really what it comes down to is cash flow. Rental properties will never give you, I'm not going to say never, but most of the time will not give you the same type of return that a business can give you month after month after month. And if you can get your business where it runs without you, then that's a true investment, like a rental property. You don't have to put a lot of work into it. You just, make sure that things are running good, just like a rental agency. You can have a manager run your business, just like a property manager running your property. But the difference is you're going to get a higher rate of return on a business all day long than you will ever on a real estate project. Right. It's going to be maybe a little more difficult in the beginning, but once you get it set up, I personally stick with businesses.
Well, and our second part of the question is which one is better, and I guess it's a preference,
to each his
right?
own.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't have the stomach for a business, a business, in my opinion, is way more rewarding because it's a company and you can do all kinds of stuff with it and can continue to grow it. Real estate, most of the time, you can do some remodels, but it's based off what's happening in the economy. and you don't really have a lot of ability to increase the value other than just sitting on it for years, and that gets boring after a while, in my opinion.
Right, I agree. Okay, so thank you so much, Eva, for your question. The next question, I apologize if I'm saying your name incorrectly, but it's Zhao Ling. She's from Beijing, China.
Wow.
Favorite way to follow us is Facebook. Thank you so much for reaching out to us with your question. And the question is, what is the most important lesson you have learned in business?
Oh, wow. Most important lesson.
There's probably a lot, but
there is a lot of good lessons. Consistency. Don't grow too fast. Don't try to grow too fast because you'll have a lot of growing pains and a lot of potential cash problems. So that's one thing. We're in a changing times. You have to treat people even better than ever before because the market is so good, and so you're constantly managing employees. And that's how you retain the good employees. So those are the things that I've learned in business through the years.
No, that's great. Thank you so much for your question. The next question is from Wade. He's from Kansas City, Kansas. His favorite way to follow us is iTunes. His question is, we've had a family farm for 3 generations, and we're approached by someone who wants to buy it. How should we value how much our business is worth? That's the first question. And the second one is, I assume all the farm equipment add to the value of the business.
Okay, this is a little bit difficult question to answer, and it's just because, it's not just the business. I'm assuming that you own the farm, the property, the land. So I've never honestly sold a farm before, so I couldn't even really honestly answer that in a good way. But all I know is that typically speaking, in most businesses, the equipment is just what was best described to me by a genius business broker, merger acquisition guy. He just called it stuff. That stuff generates the revenues in that business, and it doesn't add a whole lot of value to the business. It's just things that are needed to generate the income of that business. So as far as farms go, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, well, thank you for the question, Wade. The next question is from Eriko in Yokohama, Japan.
Jeez.
She's Nihonjin. Konnichiwa. Eriko. Favorite way to follow us is Twitter. How do you find a business that does well even when the economy is down?
Find things that people need. Just figure out what there's a need of. And some things are just automatic. It doesn't matter if the economy is good or bad. People, let's say, need gasoline. They need to eat food. They need to take care of their pets. They need to take care of their babies. They need to
take care of their health.
They need to take care of their health.
They
sometimes
need makeup,
more so that
skincare.
happens because sometimes everything else is going crummy, so they're going to look at making their bodies look good so they at least feel good. Maybe it's dating. I mean, who knows? It's a lot of things. You just look at necessities, not like luxury items. Yep.
Exactly. So this other question's from Carissa, Honolulu, Hawaii. We were just there. Aloha. Favorite way to follow us is Instagram. With the Dow over 23,000 points, what's your take on where our economy is right now?
Well, I think it's kicking butt right now.
So do I.
Everyone's talking bubbles and different things happening potentially down the road, and you never know when that's going to happen. Even the experts don't really know when that's going to happen. So I say just be ready.
Thank you all for listening to the Lifestyle Business Owner Show, where we talk about the street smarts of small business. If you've missed any of our show, make sure you go to lboradio.com, and you can listen to it anytime, anywhere. Again, we want to thank Woody Hertzog with WormWood SEO for being our guest this morning. Next week, we're going to have a sales and management training expert on the show.
The Lifestyle Business Owner Show, where we talk about the street smarts of small business with Aaron and Mayumi Muller. You can submit your questions to be answered on the show at lboradio.com. That's lboradio.com. Join us every Saturday morning at 9 for the Lifestyle Business Owner Show, right here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL.
The preceding program was sponsored by LBO Academy.